Europa League at 5 to 6, all at the moment, and we'll update you throughout the course of the evening here on TalkSport 2. 7 minutes gone. It's Vorskla 0, Arsenal 0, with Guendouzi in possession inside the centre circle. Comes over the halfway line and just plays it into the feet of Aaron Ramsey, out towards the right-hand touchline for Willock. Willock just pirouettes neatly in possession, then lays it back past Carl Jenkinson. Check comes out, side foots it forward, and Ramsey will be able to try and orchestrate something here from a deeper position. He finds Maitland-Niles on the left-hand touchline. Maitland-Niles with the ball forward to Emil Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe making his 6th first-team appearance today. Guendouzi spreads it wide for Lichtsteiner. Lichtsteiner faced up by the left winger Rebenot, lays it back instead for Mohamed El-Neni. El-Neni, who's seen first-team opportunities very difficult to come by since Unai Emery came to the club. It's only his 5th appearance so far. Out he goes towards Lichtsteiner. Lichtsteiner to Ramsey. Ramsey trying to get it away from Sharper. Then back for El-Neni again. El-Neni to Emil Smith-Rowe, just lets the ball run across his body, feeds it wide for Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles, right-footed effort from distance, probably just creeping wide of the near post, but the goalkeeper Schust was down to make a save, diving to his right-hand side, and it remains goalless on TalkSport 2.
Really good build-up play from Arsenal, wasn't it? The movement off the ball's been excellent. El-Neni coming forward, making that extra man in midfield, not sitting deep on that occasion, got higher up the field. Ramsey came out with it, played into him, first time ball on to Smith-Rowe, who I really like, because when he picks the ball up, he's always looking forward, he's always trying to be positive in possession of the ball. Very reluctantly he'll play the ball backwards and square. He wants to get turned on, he wants to look forward, he wants to be progressive with his passing. That's all good traits to have as a youngster, particularly playing in that position for Arsenal.
Yeah, scored against Karabakh, scored a League Cup goal against Blackpool as well. Don't forget, Arsenal still involved in the League Cup. Small matter of another North London derby to come. But the big North London derby that's on the way in the Premier League is live over on TalkSport this coming Sunday, part of a double bill. Chelsea, Fulham and Arsenal Spurs. Join Ray and myself for that Sags in the Chair. We're on air with a build-up from 11 on Sunday morning, on Derby Day. Arthur, the versatile Brazilian whose last 3 games have seen him play left back, left wing and right back. But he's in his favoured left back role tonight. He's clipped it forward. It's brought down under control in the midfield by Rob Holding, just stepping up from the defensive line. Lichtsteiner's got a little bit of licence to push forward now. Lays it off at the feet of Willock. Willock back for Aaron Ramsey. Ramsey trying to get away from Sharper in the midfield. Ball is played through, and Willock just couldn't get it out from underneath his feet, but Smith-Rowe can tuck it in. 1-0 to Arsenal with 10 minutes gone, and it's another goal for Emil Smith-Rowe. Goalkeeper making a save from the initial effort, but Smith-Rowe just made his way forward, walked onto it and side-footed it into the net. And Arsenal destined to win the group tonight. Vorskla 0, Arsenal 1.
Well, it was a simple finish in the end, wasn't it, for Smith-Rowe? It was a bit of good fortune in the build-up, particularly over on the right-hand side. Willock played the ball into Ramsey, skipped past a couple of players, a little 1-2 between himself and Nketiah. As he got through there, Arthur actually played it into the path of Smith-Rowe. But you know what? He didn't panic, did he? He just side-footed it with his right foot beyond the goalkeeper's shoes into the back of the net, and a perfect start for Arsenal.
3rd goal of the season for Emil Smith-Rowe, which means that he's now scored more goals than any other Arsenal player who has travelled out to Ukraine for this fixture. Delight for him, delight for Arsenal. 13 points from 5 games if it ends this way. Remember, they win the group tonight if they win, or indeed if they can match Sporting's results. Sporting leading by a goal to nil, and Arsenal also leading by a goal to nil as they look to extend their unbeaten streak to 18 in all competitions, and more impressively, I suppose, make it 7 away wins in 8 in all competitions, which is a hugely impressive run.
It certainly is, Jimmy. I've got to say, even going back to the goal there for Smith-Rowe, the halves on that occasion for Arsenal, Jenkinson Holden got caught out, and Kulak was in. He thought he was going to get a striking goal, and Maitland-Niles came across.
Another ball in from that right flank, headed away by Jenkinson. Sapai's delivery was an impressive one. Rebenot will Let it drift out of play for a throw which will be taken down by the corner flag. 14 minutes gone here on TalkSport 2. Arsenal leading courtesy of that 10th minute goal from Emil Smith-Rowe after Eddie Nketiah had caused problems inside the penalty area.
That ball you were just saying about Sapai when he's delivered it in there, I was looking at the green shirts inside the 18-yard one. It was only the striker that was in there. You know, if they're going to get themselves back into it, they're going to have to gamble and get bodies in there.
Kulak trying to do exactly that after Arthur has toe-poked it into him. A right-footed shot is looped high up in the air off El Neni and breaks down on the right-hand side of the penalty area for Sapai. He plays it back. Smith-Rowe can flick it away from its intended target. Sharper runs round it, plays it in, and Kulak is in, but he's offside. Good job he was, because the recovering challenge which came in from an Arsenal player put him on the deck, and that could potentially have been a penalty, but the flag was up correctly, and it's a free kick to Arsenal.
What a ball, though. Absolutely pinpoint, accurate ball from Sharper. It caught Arsenal, opened up there, the two centre-halves, but you could see Jenkinson had his hand up. He knew that Kulak had just gone ahead of him, so he knew he was in an offside position, but a lovely threaded ball, and something that Arsenal are going to have to be wary of from Sharper in midfield.
Yeah, he certainly looks apart. There's Kulak, who's on loan from Shakhtar Donetsk. He's got a couple of goals in this Europa League campaign already. Scored the winner at Karabakh. Also scored at home to Sporting in Poltava. And he's been far and away the liveliest of the attack-minded players for Vorskla so far this evening. But they trail by a goal to nil. Celtic's match still 0-0 away at Rosenborg. The other game in this group is the only other game with goals so far. And Karabakh have equalised with a goal from Abdullah Zubir. 1-1 in their match with Sporting Lisbon. Arsenal are on the front foot. They have the ball over on the right-hand touch, though, with Stefan Lichtsteiner. Lichtsteiner, a veteran of more than 100 appearances for Switzerland, more than 700 games now for club and country. Ball is launched for from near the halfway line, flicked on by Chesnikov, back to his goalkeeper, and Bogdan Shust able to pick the ball up. Former teammate of Henrik Mkhitaryan in today. It's a really poor kick from him, though. Just a low skidder. Only went a couple of feet off the ground and found its way through to Arthur. Then brought back down in the midfield. The second ball won by the men in green. And coming to me, that Kolomayets can just flick the ball back. Maitland-Niles mops up, though, and Guendouzi lays it back for Petr.
Yeah, just you were saying earlier about the experience of this Arsenal team and what will it bring to the youngsters. We just seem to be Lichtsteiner. Lichtsteiner's just trying to play his game for him, trying to help him out as much as he can. He just gave him a piece of advice when the ball was played into him just a little bit earlier on.
Lichtsteiner playing it in now, looking for Nketiah. It's cleared by Dalku, the Kosovan international centre-half, whose brother played 60-odd times for Albania. Ball then cleared on the left-hand side of the penalty area out towards Rebenok. Rebenok will play it forward. It's hit Lichtsteiner. Then Arthur will try and turn it forward. He was trying to buy the throw off El Neni. Every Arsenal player converging on Arthur and Rebenok when they have possession, and that pressure has won a throw which has been taken quickly into the feet of Eddie Nketiah, brought down just outside the penalty area, and an opportunity for a set piece for Arsenal, only about 5 yards outside the box.
Yeah, good play from Arsenal all around. How high up the field initially to win the ball back, got the throw in, done it very quickly. Nketiah getting on the ball, very sharp in possession of it, trying to get away from the midfielder Sklier, who came in to make the challenge on him. He wasn't too happy with the referee for giving the free kick. A real opportunity, 5 yards outside the box here for Arsenal. It is an acute angle. It looks like Ramsey's the most likely to deliver the ball into the 18-yard box.
Here Guendouzi are the two players that are standing over it, but Ramsey looks the overwhelming favourite. As well as Nketiah waiting inside the penalty area, Jenkinson's made his way forward. Smith-Rowe is there. They've got 4 in the wall. Bizarrely, I say bizarrely because of the angle at which it's being taken. Ramsey just bending it, it's actually gone for goal, and it's flown over the crossbar. At 18 minutes gone, Arsenal lead 1-0.
Yeah, it was wasteful, wasn't it, from Aaron Ramsey? I mean, the angle that he was at, it was always a difficult shot to take on. Just got too much height, trying to whip it round the wall. I'm not sure why they've got a wall from that angle, because I thought, if anything, he's just going to chip into the middle of the goal. He's went for the strike, trying to catch the goalkeeper out the near post, but it was a poor effort.
Real Betis have missed a penalty at home to Olympiacos. 0-0 still in that game. Arsenal able to bring the ball forward down the left-hand side. Maitland-Niles, good strong running from him. He's made 30 yards, 40 yards. Checks the ball back, finds Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe then back for Guendouzi again. Out to the left-hand side of the midfield. Smith-Rowe, the Arsenal goal scorer, looking to try and work it into the feet of Willock. El Neni wins it back. Guendouzi then is just handed off, and play goes on with a long ball over top. It's far too long for Kolomayets. And will be mopped up at the back by Carl Jenkins.
Yeah, that's where they've just got to just keep their calm a little bit more, the Vorskla players. They're just getting away rather cheaply. And also Jim Maitland-Niles, who's playing left back, but he's all right foot. He got down towards the corner flag, so reluctant to cross the ball with his left foot. Check back with his right, and then the opportunity to go. When you're a striker, regardless, you want the ball played in early. You want to make your run as he's going to deliver the ball in. You can see in Nketiah, he wants to go, but he says that he wants to check back on his right foot, and then they're just retaining possession rather than trying to deliver the ball into an area where you can affect the game.
The other game in this group now, 2 to Sporting, who've taken the lead again with a goal from Bruno Fernandes. Karabakh 1, Sporting 2, and Milan have taken the lead at home to Dudelange with a goal from Patrick Cutrone. They lead 1-0 at the San Siro. Arsenal leading by a goal to 0 in Kiev. Long ball over the top, chased by Nketiah, brought under control by Paduta. Back from Dalku, but given away to Maitland-Niles. Guendouzi then loses out. It's just checked past him in the midfield by Skilliat and goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the right-hand side by Vorskla. They're currently 4th in the table in Ukraine, 17 points behind leaders Shakhtar Donetsk after 18 games, which is a pretty unhealthy disadvantage at this stage of the season. Played 16, won 8, lost 8, so remarkably inconsistent. Czech will get the ball away. High ball which drifts over the halfway line and over the head of Willock. Then brought back down on the left-hand side of midfield by the men in green. But Vorskla lose possession as quickly as they've won it. And Lichtsteiner can turn it through the midfield for Guendouzi.
Well, what you notice was Arsenal just give the ball away there. Smith Rowe unfortunately played it into the path of one of the Vorskla players instead of looking forward. And what is interesting with Arsenal with checking goal, which is different to Leno, is they're not playing out from the back as much. The goalkeeper is kicking a lot of balls downfield, and they are mixing up. It's not all 1 and 2 touch. And the last passage of play that Arsenal had when they nearly got Nketiah in was, well, and then he hit a 40-yard ball over the top, and it was I think Chesnikov had just won the header, or else he could have been in with that through ball from Elneny.
Now the other game in Chelsea's group, which is taking place tonight, Barté lead Vili by a goal to 0. Nikolai Signovic is the player that has scored that goal in Belarus midway through the first half. We're just a couple of minutes behind that, 21 on the clock. Vorskla 0, Arsenal 1. A reminder of the live football coming your way on TalkSport 2 over the course of the weekend. Sheffield United against Leeds, the Yorkshire Derby on TalkSport 2, 12:30 on Saturday, and then also on to Saturday afternoon, Newcastle against West Ham, and then Middlesbrough Villa in the Championship, Saturday tea time. Over on TalkSport on Saturday, Adrian, of course, goes round the grounds with Manchester City, Bournemouth, the feature game. Ray Parler at Palace against Burnley, Alvin Martin up at Huddersfield against Brighton, and Southampton against Manchester United is your live tea time offering over on TalkSport with Laura, Sam and Stuart Pearce. Arsenal able to bring the ball forward, leading by a goal to 0 with Ainsley Maitland-Niles in possession. He'll play it down the left-hand touchline for Emil Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe turns it between 2 green shirts. He finds Maitland-Niles again. Maitland-Niles then almost inexplicably decided to take it on and check and go down the inside left channel rather than just trying to knock the ball square across the edge of the 6-yard box where both Nketiah and Willock were waiting for it.
Why not shoot Jim into the bargain? I mean, he's done everything right. Lovely build-up play down the left-hand side. Smith-Rowe heavily involved. I really like the more I see this youngster, the more impressed I am with him. He's got his goal this evening, but his all-round game's been very, very good. A couple of little mistakes that he's made, but in general been very good in possession of the ball, and he set up the move with a little threaded ball through to Maitland-Niles. He's come inside a couple of the Vorskla players, hit it. You know, he was there to curl into the far post, and he's made the wrong decision, tried to check it back onto his left foot and just overrun it straight into the hands of the goalkeeper Schuss.
Player who's still waiting as well for his first Arsenal goal, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's into the 40s now in terms of first-team appearances for the club. Has got a couple of goals out in his loan spells. Lichtsteiner lets the ball run out of play. It's a throw which will be taken on the Arsenal right-hand side. 13 wins, 4 draws in this 17-match unbeaten run since their 3-2 loss to Chelsea, the second week of the Premier League season. Their away form in the Europa League has been really impressive. In the last 9 on the road, 6 wins. And they've won both games this season without conceding, and they lead this one with a clean sheet against their name still as well. Guendouzi plays it forward. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Ramsey turning away in the midfield. He's got plenty of options on his right. Lichtsteiner playing almost as a right winger now. Hasn't got to worry about Rebenot coming past him the other way. The ball is played into Lichtsteiner's path. He's not happy, and again, he's just trying to talk Willock through it, and the movement that he should be making to play effectively in tandem with Lichtsteiner. Such a boon for him, having a 34-year-old, vastly experienced, multi-Italian league winner playing in behind him, talking him through the game, as Ray was saying. And Nketiah drifts out towards the Arsenal left and lays it back for Maitland-Niles. His ball back inside his own half for Rob Holding. Arsenal played almost exclusively on the front foot, certainly since taking the lead. The ball has been probably 80% of the time in Vorskla territory. That's where they are again now with Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, but I mean, they're moving the ball around nicely, Arsenal, in complete control, aren't they, with their passing. Lichtsteiner was just saying to you, well, when the ball's played to me, you've got to make an angle to receive it. You know, there's no use you playing ahead of me when the fullback's saying, I can't get the ball to you. Just make an angle, I'll give the ball to you, and then you can do what you're good at. So that's where the experience comes in. He'll learn more tonight, Willock, playing with Lichtsteiner, than he would have done in all the games he played recently at under 23 level. This is where they've got to listen to the more experienced players and learn from them.
Maitland-Niles down towards the left-hand side for Emil Smith-Rowe. Arsenal's goal scorer gets to the left-hand edge of the box, sets it up for Ramsey. Ramsey goes down inside the penalty area and wins a penalty. But he just turned neatly, the Welshman, and the challenge came in from Sculliar in the midfield and just swept his legs from underneath him. Maybe he went down a little bit easily, Aaron Ramsey, but the penalty has been given and Arsenal have the chance to double their lead.
Well, I'm not sure about this, Jim, at all. The initial challenge came in and I thought it had gone, and Sculliar, I think he just slid it. Maybe his left leg just caught Ramsey, who's gone over. I mean, the referee couldn't have been in a better position. He really couldn't have been. You know, I think it was Perduta in the end, wasn't it, came in with the challenge. Sculliar was there as well, but when he's gone over, I looked at the referee straight away because, you know, where is he? Can he see the incident? And he was right on top of it, the referee. So credit him for that. He's seen it as a penalty, pointed straight to the spot, and Aaron Ramsey's got an opportunity to double the lead.
Well, he's only scored one goal this season, which was that wonderful team move in the big win at Fulham. Now from the penalty spot, the opportunity to score his 60th Arsenal goal. Ramsey, long runner from the edge of the penalty area, hits it right-footed and just flicks it past the goalkeeper, who's claiming, I think with some justification, that there was a fair bit of encroachment around the edge of the penalty area, but the referee disinterested, and Arsenal lead by 2-0. I
think what he was complaining about, Jim, is the way that Ramsey came forward, because it was very nonchalant. I think he felt that he stopped, which I don't think you're allowed to do. You know, you're supposed to continue to run, but he just walked up to it. I mean, the referee was just looking to make sure that the ball was on the spot. The goalkeeper's not even moved. He's actually knelt down as Ramsey's just played it to the goalkeeper's left. Excellent penalty dispatch, very well. I didn't see anything wrong with it, to be honest. But my first thought was to look at the goalkeeper and what he was doing, and straight away he got up to complain to the referee.
Well, he didn't break his stride. He did slow down as he addressed the ball, but he didn't break his stride. He was moving forward all the time. It's a perfectly legitimate penalty. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. As the goalkeeper sunk to his knees, it was just side-footed past him into the net. Aaron Ramsey's second goal of the season, Arsenal's second goal of the night. And with 27 minutes gone, it's Vorskla 0, Arsenal 2.
Well, it looks like damage limitation for Vorskla and for Arsenal. How many goals can they score? Even with this young side, they're just far too good for the opposition. They need to get themselves back into it as quickly as they can and see if they can get a goal to give the home support. And the little is here for Vorskla to try and get behind the side, but Arsenal are very dominant at the moment.
Free kick has gone the other way as Vorskla look to get themselves back into this game. Rebenot will take it, left foot. It's a really poor, low and flat delivery, headed away by El Neni. Not the best defensive header, actually, although it was seized upon by Nketiah. Nketiah plays a little 1-2 with Smith-Rowe. Vorskla pick up the pieces with Perduta near halfway. Rebenot will try and make his way forward, but El Neni's won it back, and then Smith-Rowe will play forward. Body check there. Eddie Nketiah will pick it up and take it down the left-hand touchline, and then he's shoved to the ground by Sculliar. And that's going to be a yellow card, the first of the game, and a free kick to Arsenal just in Vorskla territory.
Well, he was the one who went into the challenge on Smith-Rowe as well. Sculliar, I mean, I think it was a bit of frustration. He wasn't happy with the penalty that was given. He's reacted only a few moments after Ramsey's doubled the lead for Arsenal. He went into Smith-Rowe initially, and then after that, flying into another Arsenal player to get his yellow card. They've just got to make sure they don't lose their discipline now. Arsenal, from the other side of it, make sure you don't pick up any injuries. You know, at the moment you can just see Kulak flying into Elneny there as well, and he wasn't too far away from catching them, so they've just got to try and keep their heads, and the Arsenal players just move the ball around. There'll be more chances.
Well, as it stands, the group has Arsenal top with 13 points, Sporting have 10, and Vorskla and Karabakh 3 apiece. They will both be out tonight, and Arsenal will seal the group, because if they finish level on points with Sporting, then they have a superior head-to-head record, having beaten them in Lisbon and drawn 0-0 in North London. So Arsenal know that they've won the group if they can win tonight. There's no way they're not winning this. 2-0 up with 29 minutes gone. In complete control. Yeah,
there'll be good value for the 2-goal lead that they've got, haven't they, Jim? Youngsters have certainly blended in very well, have not looked out of place alongside the more experienced players.
Paduta's ball inside the penalty area, headed away by Carl Jenkins. If you're just joining us, he's playing at centre-half tonight. Sharper lays the ball back through the midfield. Dalku runs around it, finds Chesnikov, who's had the best attempt for Vorskla so far. Now out towards Artur, who played 40-odd games in the Brazilian top flight before moving to Ukraine. Now Paduta. Just exchange of passes with Sapai, the right winger ahead of him. Work back for Dalku. The cost of an international sends a long ball forward, which Kolomiets tries to flick on, and he goes straight through for Penacek. 30 minutes gone, Arsenal in complete control, have a 2-0 lead.
Well, even with that ball played forward for Kolomiets, if you're going to flick it, who's going to flick it onto? There was not one player within 20 yards of him. You know, if you're going to play it up to the big striker, play it in his body where he can hold it up, then bring his midfielders into the game. They've just lost their way at the moment, and that's just due to the way that Arsenal have played with the opening 30-31 minutes of this game, and have been complete control.
Check to Holding. Holding's ball forward out from the back is brought down neatly enough in the midfield by Ramsey. Then Guendouzi was fouled. A free kick to Arsenal. Kolomiets is the player that has got in, and now Arsenal bring it forward quickly with Willock. He's also fouled. Chesnikov was the player that came across and caught him, I think. Well, a yellow card is shown. Might even have been Sharper that was the last man to catch him, and indeed it is he that has been shown the yellow card, and that will rule him out of the final game in the group, the match in Lisbon away to Sporting.
Well, see, the problem now that they've got is they're losing their discipline, Vorskla, you know, and that's why you're getting so many free kicks. They can't get near to the Arsenal players, they have to come in and foul them, and this is where Arsenal just got to make sure that they keep their heads, retain possession. Openings will be there, and there'll be more chances to score goals.
Ball rolled down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Willett with a sharp chance. He's beaten away at the near post by the goalkeeper, Schust. Now to play for an Arsenal corner. They had 2 very early ones. It's the 3rd corner of the game, which will be taken on the right flank. Arsenal 2 goals to the good.
Yeah, lovely little ball threaded through there, wasn't it, from Lichtsteiner down the right channel there to Willett. He took the shot on. I thought he was going to try and play it across the goalkeeper, but the angle was very tight, so he actually made the goalkeeper work there with that strike it going. Schust did the right thing. He couldn't hold on to it, just pushed it behind for a corner. Guendouzi
takes the corner. It wasn't the best. It was swept away at the near post. The counter-attack would have been on if they could have played a better ball forward from Skiliar to Rebenok. Ultimately goes out of play for a throw, which is going to be taken on the left-hand side by Vorskla. Have lost their last 3 games without scoring. Been in no kind of domestic form at all. If they lose tonight, it's their worst run in all competitions for 2 years. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe, chipping it over the top. Eddie Nketiah controls it, intentionally or unintentionally, with the nape of his back, and then he ran round it and got a left-footed shot in, but from a tight angle, he's put it wide.
I'll tell you what, though, the play there from Smith-Rowe once again was excellent when he got turned on it. Had the vision to pick out the pass to the left-hand side, to pick out Nketiah. He was in a good position. He just tried to work the opening, didn't he? And he had options if he'd played the ball across the face of the goal. Try and catch the goalkeeper out by hitting it with his left foot. But unfortunately, just couldn't hit the target.
Ball is worked back for Schust. Schust finds Paduta. Paduta rolling it forward to Skiliar in the midfield. His right-footed ball forward hits Mohamed Elneny. Played high up in the air. It's all got a little bit scrappy again. Goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Arsenal left-hand side.
Actually, the attitude of the Arsenal players, though, has been very good, hasn't it? You know, the fact that they had to change venue quite late on, it hasn't been a problem for them. The players have gone out there with a real focus about them, a determination. They're closing high up the pitch, winning the ball back in good areas.
Celtics match still 0-0. Way to Rosenborg. Rosenborg haven't picked up a single point in this Europa League campaign so far. Rebenot's ball in from the left-hand side of the penalty area. Jenkinson chests it down. It's knocked away, picked up by Skuljar again. Out to the left-hand side for Chesnikov. Artur certainly hasn't held his position, really. The left-back has been drifting in and causing problems for Rebenot, the winger ahead of him, with his positional play. Paduta has it now. Paduta just comes 5 yards inside Arsenal territory, gets it away from Smith Rowe, works it forward for Sharper. They smuggle it back to the goalkeeper as just whacks it forward long. Lichtsteiner heads it away. Brought back down in the midfield again by Sapai, the right winger. Now he'll just drift forward into almost the Trequarista role as it's laid that little bit deeper out to the fullback for Paduta.
See, when they pick the ball up, Jim, there's not a lot of options, is there? They have to go backwards in a square. I'm looking at the two central midfielders, Sharper and Skuljar. Neither one of them is really going beyond the attackers. They're sitting in that defensive midfield role.
Nani has just scored for Sporting, 3-1 up now, away at Karabag in the other game in this group. Skuljar brings the ball forward, out towards the right-hand touchline. Sapai delivers, right-footed. It's hit Maitland-Niles and bounces away onto the blue running track. And out of play for a corner, but the corner won't be taken until there's been a substitution with 10 minutes to go to half-time. And it's Vorskla they're going to be making the change, and Nicolas Careca, the Brazilian midfielder on loan from Grêmio, is the man who is going to be coming on, and Sapai is the man he replaces.
Well, I'm surprised at Sapai going off, because actually he's done all right on this right-hand side. I'm not sure if he's got an injury. He looked a little bit concerned as he was going off there, but whatever play they've had, most of it's been down the right-hand side with him delivering balls into the box.
In comes the corner, punched away by Petr Cech. Out past Kulak, who was looking dangerous in the opening 15 minutes, but hardly mentioned his name since then. Just haven't been able to get the ball forward to him as well. Arsenal's possession up in the low 60s. Kulak has it now, right on cue. Has hit it behind square into the centre circle for Chesnikov. Chesnikov to Skuljar. Plays the ball forward into the feet of Sharper in the midfield. He tries to play it down towards Rebenot, who's drifted out towards his right flank, having taken that last corner from the Vorskla right. Ramsey comes back now. Skuljar puts him under pressure. Just drops it short inside the area for Holding. Holding chips it forward, not the best ball. Rebenot tries to make something happen. But the referee spotted an infringement, and it's a free kick which will be taken on the left-hand side of the Arsenal penalty area with 8 minutes to go to half-time. It's Vorskla 0, Arsenal 2 on TalkSport 2.
Holding's had a lot of games this season, Jim, isn't he? And his confidence is growing. I think that was just shown as he tried to play out from his left-back position as he ended up. Just a little ball played over the top. Sometimes you're better off just putting your foot through it, though, because he never really got any distance on it. The Vorskla players were on top of, I think Maitland-Niles was one of the ones that Arsenal players were in and around the ball. And then there was a challenge that came in from Rebenot, which was a little bit too high. Give away the free kick.
AK Larnaca have taken the lead in Switzerland away at FC Zurich, and Dudelange have equalised at the San Siro away to AC Milan. 1-1 in that game. Goals from Smith Rowe and Ramsey for Arsenal. In fact, since the rebranding of this competition in the 2009-2010 season, no Arsenal player has scored or been directly involved in more Europa League goals than Aaron Ramsey. And tonight's is 5th goal in the competition. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Maitland-Niles has given a free kick away as he was just chasing back and pushed his man over. And Paduta's won a free kick which will be taken by Rebenot, which means it's going to be another left-footed in-swinging delivery from out by the right-hand touchline.
That Colomoet's opportunity he had quite early on in the game seems quite a long time ago.
Well, the ball came in and it was shanked away. Apart from it wasn't. That was the intention on the edge of the penalty area, to whack it upfield. And it just hit Emil Smith Rowe as he tried to play it forward with his left foot, and it came off the outside of his left boot and bounced behind him. And Colomietz, if he'd just taken advantage of that, if he read the situation earlier, would have been clean through, but it's just come off his toes and gone straight through for Petr Cech.
Yeah, his touch just let him down at the opportune moment there, didn't it, Colomietz? He was in a good position there. Bad mistake there from Smith Rowe. Really should have put his foot through it. He's smiling now after the event, but that could have been a real opportunity for Vorskla to get a goal just before half-time.
Got away with it, and it remains 2-0 to Arsenal. Of course, they did score two relatively late goals the last time that they played the Gunners, which more in a moment as Arto brings it forward. Played inside by Rebenok inside the penalty area. Kareka, the substitute, goes up for it. Arto helps it on. Arsenal got a player down injured for a moment, but play's allowed to continue as the Gunners get it away. And the quick feed of Nketiah causes problems. If anything, Nketiah and Ramsey ran into each other, and the referee is going to stop play. He had spotted a foul. It's a free kick which will be taken by Arsenal on halfway.
Yeah, they certainly looked like there was a coming together there, wasn't there? I thought initially it was the two Arsenal players that had run into each other, but Chesnikov, the captain, get back in his defensive position, just clipped the heels of Nketiah. But just the last build-up play for Vorskla, when they thought they had half a chance at Maitland-Niles once again. Brilliant covering position. You know, he's come in from that left full-back position to help out his two centre-halves when there was a real chance there for Vorskla maybe to get a striking goal. Defended it very well.
Carl Jenkinson back for Rob Holding. Arsenal just inside their own half as we go into the final 5 minutes of the first 45. Guendouzi's ball, he fades one of the Vorskla players. He's picked up by Maitland-Niles. Willock on the edge of the area. Maitland-Niles takes over again, but the sliding challenge can get it away. Guendouzi 5 yards in from the left-hand touchline. Back for Emil Smith-Rowe, the scorer of the first Arsenal goal tonight. Willock tries to get the better of the danger man Kulak. He can't. Sharper can bring it away. Plays now towards the left-hand touchline for Rebenok. A little bit pedestrian in getting the ball forward, Vorskla, and Rebenok, when he played it forward, presented it straight to El Nate. It's a good ball forward from him. And Willock running towards the edge of the penalty area. Right-footed effort. Oh, it's a brilliant goal. Arsenal go 3 up in the final 5 minutes of the first half, and Joe Willock scores the first senior goal of his career. The Arsenal players converge on him, delighted. A big moment for the young man as he just made his way forward towards the edge of the area, drew the goalkeeper, siphoned it past him from distance. It has to be said, the Vorskla defending was absolutely appalling, but that doesn't matter for Joe Willock, who scored his first team goal. And it's Vorskla 0, Arsenal 3.
What a finish it was. He just passed it into the back of the net, didn't he? Young Willock didn't panic at all. He was over this left-hand side, just cuts in against Chesnikov, the skipper, and just caressed it into the far corner. But I tell you what, credit has to go to El Neni, because Rebenok tried to play a pass infield. He'd read it. El Neni read it all the way, picked it up quickly, sorted the pass out to the left-hand side to Willock. He's 1v1, dropped his shoulder, feinted to go to his left, brought it onto his right, and just side-footed it beyond shushed into the back of the net. A goal he won't forget.
Great moment for Joe Willock in his first European match of the season. In fact, his first team game since Arsene Wenger left the club. 1 goal for him. Another for Smith-Rowe, penalty for Ramsey. Arsenal leading by 3 goals. There were 3 minutes to go to half-time on TalkSport 2. Vorskla bring the ball forward, but Colomiette, who isn't going to be getting a 9 in the paper tomorrow morning unless he has an extraordinary second half. And he's just let it roll out of play for a throw to Arsenal, taken by Maitland-Niles. Finds Guendouzi under pressure from Kareka. He will turn the ball back to Carl Jenkinson inside his own penalty area.
Well, Unai Emery must be just watching the game and thinking, like, yeah, I'm really happy at the moment in his technical area, because his youngsters that he's given a chance to have gone out there and carried out his orders and what he wanted from him. That's to express yourself. You know, would it be Maitland-Niles, would it be Guendouzi, Smith-Rowe, Willock, and Nketiah? All of them have played a part in the game, and to get this Arsenal side hit 3-0 up with a couple of minutes before the first half's completed. Very, very good, very professional.
Well, when the two sides met in North London back in September, Arsenal were 4-0 up with 13 minutes to go. Did concede a couple of late goals, one to the centre-half Chesnikov and one to the midfielder Sharper. But Arsenal were 4 up at that stage, and their tails are up here as they look for a 4th before half-time. Willock making his way down the touchline has won a corner. Now with 2 minutes to go to half-time, they have a great opportunity.
I say with Willock there, his confidence has grown, isn't it? Earlier on, I think he was a little bit hesitant. That's why Lichtstein had a little word with him, trying to get him into positions, trying to build his confidence up. But since he's got his goal and he's been down that right-hand side, him and Smith-Rowe really worked in tandem. And they've got the corner kick now,
which is taken by Guendouzi. High ball forward, just too high for Rob Holding. Headed away by Paduta. Back into the fray to Carl Jenkinson, who tries to chest his way through, but he's offside. Good news for Celtic fans. They lead at Rosenborg by a goal to nil. Scott Sinclair, the man with the goal. Salzburg against Leipzig remains 0-0. So that group as it stands, Salzburg 13, Celtic 9, Leipzig 7. Rosenborg, of course, out. Haven't got a point against their name. Celtic putting themselves into a great position with Scott Sinclair's goal. And they lead in Norway by a goal to nil.
Like I said, the moment Vorskla look like they're well beaten, don't they? Your body language, you're looking around the pitch. I'm looking at Colin Moetz, who's actually going on to play on the right-hand side. They keep changing the formation around.
Now Kulak has got the better of El Neni and shoots from distance, but it goes some way wide at Petacek's left-hand post. He didn't even bother making a save as it drifts wide. He just has a little word with El Neni, telling him to calm down.
Yeah, well, that's a rare mistake, isn't it? El Neni with the ball into Nketiah. Actually, his layoff wasn't very good, and then he's tried to play the ball over to his left-hand side, El Neni, to pick out Maitland-Niles. Just played it against Kulak, but I've got to be honest with you, that's one of the worst strikes I've seen in a long, long time from a professional footballer. I don't know what he was thinking as he went through there. As he's going to take the shot on, I don't know if he was going to try and chip Petacek or he was going to hit it with pace, and then he's just come off the side of his boot. Must have went 50 yards wide of the target.
That was one of mine, that. Willock has gone down injured as the numbers board shows 1 additional minute at the end of the first half. It was Arter jumping for the ball, arms flailing, caught Willock on the back of the head, and as a result, it's a free kick. The referee just making sure that Willock is okay. Excellent first half, though, from the Gunners. 3-0 up with only seconds remaining. And that will give them the opportunity to blood some of the even younger ones on the bench. The 17-year-olds potentially. Tyrese John Jules and Bukayo Saka might get some minutes.
I think Saka's the one, Jim, everyone's been talking about. He's meant to be the next hot prospect at Arsenal. So if we get an opportunity to see him in the second half, I'm sure all Arsenal fans will be very much looking forward to see what he's got to offer.
Squad number of 87, which tells its own story. That's not like some of the squad numbers of the Vorskla players who were up in the 80s through preference. That's 87 because it was 87th on the list. But some talent, no doubt about that. And Arsenal's young guns have done a very effective job. 3-0 up as the half-time whistle goes. Emil Smith-Rowe catching the eye, as he always does. A 10th minute opener from him. Aaron Ramsey's penalty that he won himself, stroked home with aplomb on 27. And then a first senior goal from Joe Willock. Side-footed past the goalkeeper with 4 minutes to go to half-time. It really has been a stroll. Arsenal, excellent value for a 3-0 half-time lead.
Mark Webster's joined me in the studio. We'll be here till 10 o'clock tonight. Jim, a comprehensive performance from Arsenal, given the rather fractious build-up, given the fact it is ostensibly a second-string side, a lot of youngsters in the mix. It was very composed, very together, wasn't it?
Perfect performance. They couldn't have done any more. Yes, there's been the odd isolated mistake. And Colin Moetz could have given Vorskla a lead inside 90 seconds with a shooting opportunity. And then there was the mistake late in the half when Nketiah put El Neni under pressure with a hospital ball. Kulak seized upon that but dragged the shot well wide. But you really are looking for negatives. For the sake of looking for negatives, Arsenal have been excellent. Smith-Rowe is a fine player. He's got a big future ahead of him. Willock has done well. Looks a little bit raw at times, perhaps, but undoubtedly there's a player in there, Eddie Nketiah. In his first Arsenal start, will feel that maybe there's more to come from him in the second half, but he's not really put a foot wrong in the first 45 minutes. It's a very professional job. Difficult fixture, long travelling away from home, the switch of venue, so many excuses. But the Arsenal players haven't looked for them, haven't hidden behind anything, and 3-0 shows the complete domination.
Absolutely right. I just want listening to you fellas talking about it as well. I'm still trying to pick the bones out of the penalty, though.
Yeah, it was a difficult one.
Not quite sure where to look.
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult one. It was the fullback Perduta who made the challenge. I think his right leg just went in between the two of Aaron Ramsey. I've got to say, though, the referee was in a great position, and you've got to give him credit for that. You know, he's seen it. You know, he's only 5 yards away from the incident. No one was in his line of vision. And straight away I looked at him and he pointed straight to the spot. So he had no doubt whatsoever that it was a penalty.
After the penalty, Ray, the Vorskla keeper and a few others were quite unhappy with what was happening. Just before Ramsey took it, they were protesting, but the replay showed that it was pretty innocuous. There was really nothing going on.
No, I didn't see much on it. I mean, I remember a penalty that Son took for Tottenham. I think it was in an FA Cup game.
Rochdale.
It was against Rochdale, and he actually stopped. And the penalty was disallowed, and I think they took a free kick from where the incident took place. And, you know, that's what can happen if you completely stop. But he didn't. You know, he did come up very slowly. It's one of them ones, we call it showing the goalkeeper, give them the eyes. You know, when you're not looking at the ball, you're looking at the goal and you're waiting for him to make his move before you stroke the ball. And that's all he done. And the goalkeeper, well, he went down in one knee, didn't he? Because he hadn't a clue where Aaron Ramsey was going to play it.
Indeed, I thought he was going to propose, obviously, at that particular stage to Aaron Ramsey. He'd arrived there. He was sold before it happened, wasn't he? So he had plenty of time to look round to find excuses.
Yeah, well, he did. Yeah, but listen, there's no excuse at all. They've been outplayed, Vorskla. I mean, for this Arsenal team to be as young as they are, you know, not to... They train together, boys. We get that. But they don't play together. You know, but actually playing games together. That's very rare. And you're looking at Maitland Niles, Holden, Carl Jenkinson. I mean, he's not even been in and around the squad, Jim, is he? I mean, that's the first time I've really heard his name. Lichtsteiner, we know he's been out recently. I think he's had an injury. He's coming back in fitness. But, you know, as a back four, how often have they played together as a back four? Once there's been hardly a game. Even maybe in training they might not have been played with that same back four.
Absolutely. There's no chance that they will have done before the preparation for this match, when Emery had in his mind what his team was going to be. I'm sure this four won't have played together. I mean, Jenkinson hasn't played in the Premier League for more than 2 years now, so that's how far out of the picture that he's been. But, you know, Smith Rowe's 18, Maitland-Niles 21, and Kettian 19, Willock 19, Holding only 23. It is a young Arsenal side with younger to come off the bench, and it's set up perfectly because Emery would have wanted them to be in a commanding position. They know they're going to get the win, and so we might get the opportunity to see a Saka or a Gilmour or a John Jules in the second half.
You've still got to go out and perform, and regardless of your age, you've got to go and attack the game in the right manner with everything you've mentioned. Change of venue, one thing, the flight over, you've got to get your preparation right. And these players' attitude going in have been absolutely brilliant, and I think that stems from the top. That's from the manager. He sets the tone and you follow, and that's happened in the last 17 games where they've been unbeaten, and it's continued tonight with these young players, and he's not afraid to put them in. And the other thing with that is he's learning about them. What are they like in situations like that when it's, you know, it's not everything's pre-planned, it's not everything's gone to perfection, i.e. travel, you know, the venue, and you've got to adapt and you have to get your preparation right. And these boys have done absolutely fabulous jobs at that first 45 minutes.
I must say, and you referenced it there, the sort of like the sage-like age of 23. A good game for Rob Holding, who's starting to emerge now.
You know,
obviously, as the leader.
He doesn't look like he misses a game, Tim.
No, it's true. He's in all the time now.
I want to go one worry would be, is it the team that started tonight and none of them going to play on Sunday?
Well, I mean, Rob Holding started the last 7 Premier League games, so you would imagine, unless Koscielny's in a position, we know that he's back training, but unless they reckon that they can rush him back for Sunday, which I can't see happening at all, then Rob Holding's going to be playing.
I seen, you and I were at Bournemouth on Sunday, I seen after the game, Koscielny was doing some work.
Still looked miles away.
He looked miles away. He played 45 minutes in the under-23s. I think it was on Monday evening, was it? They played. And I've got to say, it's lovely to see him back, try to get his fitness back, but he's nowhere near ready to play. In particular game against Tottenham, one of the great rivals for Arsenal. But Holding, I think, I've got to be honest, boys, the more I see him, the more he's impressing me. Game by game by game, he's learning his trade, and he's getting to understand his position a lot better, and he looked comfortable tonight.
Well, that game, the North London Derby, is live on Talk Sport, of course, Sunday, just after 2 o'clock. Excellent stuff. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks, fellas.
For now, gentlemen. In the same group as Arsenal, Sporting 3-1 up against Karabag on the road there. So as it stands right now, those are the teams that we're going through, with Arsenal sitting on top of Group E. Celtic are 1-0 up at half-time, and their must-win game against Rosenborg. Scott Sinclair with the goal there. I'll give you updates on all the games being played in the Europa League right now, and second half commentary coming live from Kiev next after this break on TalkSport 2.
TalkSport 2 Live. Up at the crack of dawn jobs. Burning the midnight oil jobs. Finished with time to spare jobs. A bit trickier than your first thought jobs. Whatever the job, the Vauxhall Vivaro van comes with 6 years 0% APR for £199 per month. Just the job. Vauxhall. British brand since 1903. Conditional sale. 6 years, 0% APR. Minimum 20% deposit plus VAT at 20% on total price. Financed by Vauxhall Finance. Subject to status. 18 plus. Small business users only. Search for Varo 199.
At BetBright, we know where the smart money goes. And with the Rugby Premiership underway with another big tackling season, BetBright can make sure you bet smart. Because right now, at BetBright, you can get 25% back on all net daily losses on all in-play bets across all sports. Download the BetBright app from your app store today. Bet smart at betbright.com. 25% back as a free bet on losses up to £100. Minimum 3 qualifying bets at odds of 1 to 5 or greater. Bets placed with free bets do not qualify. Opt-in required. See BetBright for full terms. 18 plus gamble aware.
A good summer. Finally. When your kids go to bed. Oh, finally. Making a profit. Finally. A business bank doing something different. Finally. Like giving cash back on your business account. Introducing the new Santander 123 Business Current account. Finally. A proper reason to switch. Cash back up to £300 annually on credit turnover. Monthly fee £12.50. For UK-based companies with up to 2 directors, owners or partners. 18 plus T's and C's apply.
From the Subway Christmas menu, I ordered just for me a sub with turkey slices and streaky bacon, pork and sage stuffing, cranberry and orange chutney, lots of tasty gravy, and a signature loaded wrap. And for my dessert, I got a cookie, a chocolate and orange cookie, and a gingerbread latte. This Christmas at Subway, make it what you want.
Prices and participation may vary. See in store for details.
At Homebase, we can make your kitchen ideas come to life. There are over 30 kitchens to choose from in our fantastic range. And with 15-year guarantees available on selected pre-assembled units, we're all about quality. We've also got our free in-store design and planning service, who will help you make your new kitchen a reality. You can book your appointment right now, either online or pop into your local store. Don't miss out. Make your house a home this Christmas at Homebase. Excludes clearance and closure stores.
Christmas jumpers! Yeah, not everyone loves them, but we all love great savings. And at Tesco Mobile, our Black Friday event is full of them. Like saving £108 on the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus from £30.25 a month. Offer ends 2nd of December. However you do Christmas, everyone's welcome at Tesco Mobile.
Saving based on £3 a month over 36-month credit agreement with Tesco Mobile Limited. 24-month usage. Chipper status. Fair use policy applies. See tescomobile.com/terms.
Online and on DAB Digital Radio. TalkSport 2 Live.
Welcome back to TalkSport 2 Live, where it is Arsenal 3, Vorskla 0 in our live commentary game this evening. Let me get you some other Europa League scores in the same group, Group E. Karabag 1, Sporting 3. So as it stands, Arsenal top Group E, and we'll go through as the winners. Sporting will be the other team that qualifies. Elsewhere, Celtic are 1-up at half-time through a Scott Sinclair goal on the road in Rosenborg. It's Salzburg 0, RB Leipzig 0. The other game in Group B. Krasnodar are 1-0 down to Arkis Sarpsborg at half-time in Group J. It's AC Milan 1, Dudelange 1. Cutrone, the born and bred Milan player with the goal there, but Dudelange equalised, a potential shock on the cards there. Real Betis 1, Olympiakos 0. Those games in Group F. In Group L, it's Bate Borisov 1, Vidi 0. Remember, that's Chelsea's group. Chelsea in action against PAOK a bit later on. Anderlecht 0, Spartak Taverna 0, and Fenerbahce 0, Zagreb 0. That is in Group D. And in Group G, it is finished. Earlier game kicked off. Spartak Moscow 1, Rapid Vienna 2. Rangers group, of course, and they play Villarreal a little bit later on. Astana lost 1-0 earlier on against Dynamo Kiev. It's currently half-time between Zurich and Larnaca, 1-0 to Larnaca, and Bayer Leverkusen 0, Ludogorets 0, Zenit St. Petersburg 0, Copenhagen 0, and Bordeaux 0, Slavia Prague 0. Now, I mentioned Chelsea PAOK, one of the 8 o'clock kickoffs. Let's hear from Maurizio Sarri, the Chelsea manager, who's expecting his team to have learned their lessons from Sunday's defeat against Spurs.
Saturday, we played very badly. A match without determination, but we lost a match after 110 days, I think. So the team did well generally, but we have to understand why. We played against Tottenham without determination. It's not normal. But of course, tomorrow for us is an important match because, first of all, I want to see a reaction, but I want also to see a reaction in the next Premier League match. And I want to see that we learned our lessons.
We'll find out if they have and if indeed the Chelsea players get the reaction that Maurizio Sarri is looking for. That game kicking off at 8 o'clock. And Mark Webster and I here till 10 on TalkSport 2 tonight. So all the later kickoffs we will be across and be updating you on the scores and the goals as they go in. The second half about to get underway in Kiev. And despite the complicated build-up, Arsenal's youngsters are getting the job done.
Rebanok just clipping it in. It's a very well-worked free kick as well at a tight angle. It's a glorious opportunity for Colomiets. Kept in by Rebanok down by the corner flag. So wild was the shot. Back for him again. This time as it comes in, Czech spilt it. And it just rolled behind him. Ramsey trying to get away from Sharper in the midfield. Ball is played through. And Willock just couldn't get it out from underneath his feet. But Smith Rowe can tuck it in. 1-0 to Arsenal with 10 minutes gone. And it's another goal for Emil Smith Rowe. Down towards the left-hand side for Emil Smith Rowe. And Arsenal's goal scorer gets to the left-hand edge of the box. Sets it up for Ramsey. Ramsey goes down inside the penalty area and wins the penalty.
Well, I'm not sure about this, Jim, at all. The initial challenge came in and I thought it had gone, and Skilly, I think he just slid it. Maybe his left leg just caught Ramsey, who's gone over. I mean, the referee couldn't have been in a better position.
Rebanok, when he played it for, presented it straight to El Nate. It's a good ball forward from him. And Willock running towards the edge of the penalty area. Right-footed effort. Oh, it's a brilliant goal.
It certainly was, capping an impressive first half performance from Arsenal. 3-0 up at half-time in Kiev against Vorskla. Second half coming your way shortly. Just a quick moment for me to remind you about Movember and the fact that TalkSport 2 is supporting Movember and wants to get you involved. Grow a moustache. For Movember, you could inspire conversations, donations, and deliver real change to stop men dying too young. You can sign up or donate now at Movember.com/TalkSport. Still time to get involved there. Movember.com/TalkSport. Ray Houghton and Jim Proudfoot, our commentary team in Kiev. Quick line, Ray, just on the organisation from memory. We've talked about how composed the players have looked, but given the build-up and given that it is essentially a backup side out there, credit to Unai Emery and how well organised he's got them.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is what he'll be working on training. You know, he's a fantastic manager, got great knowledge of the game. Really, if you see him in the technical area, now he's always trying to get his players into position, always organising them. I like that. But you give some managers who can be very quiet, you get others that are, just making a lot of noise but not giving you real information. This fella gives you proper stuff. He gets across you what's required, and these young lads are certainly listening to him, and they've got off to a brilliant start in that first half with their 3 goals that they scored.
They want more of the same. Alongside Ray is Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Nat. Well, the two teams are back out for the second half, and Arsenal will be about to get us underway in their red and white. Vorskla in all green. Know that they're done for already, really, after those goals in the first half from Smith Rowe, Ramsey from the penalty spot, and also from Willock. No changes being made in terms of personnel at this juncture. Vorskla made one in the first half. Koreka coming on for Sapai. I think that Arsenal will make changes, though, as the half progresses. I'll be absolutely amazed if there aren't 3 relatively early substitutes. Guendouzi from the kick-off. To El Neni. El Neni into the feet on the left-hand side of midfield of Smith Rowe. And then back he comes again down towards Jenkinson. Jenkinson to Guendouzi. And Arsenal will be able to play the ball forward. Arsenal lining up with checking goal. Lichtstein and Jenkinson, Holding and Maitland-Niles. Guendouzi, Ramsey and El Neni. Willock and Nketiah and Smith Rowe. A very youthful forward 3. Just in goal for Vorskla, Peduta, Dalku, Chesnikov and Arta across the back. Colomiets out on the right-hand side of midfield. Skiliar, Sharper and Rebanok, and then Kulak in support of Koreka, the substitute who's come on in a central role. Emil Smith Rowe has possession for Arsenal. Lays it off for Ramsey, who keeps his feet under duress. Lays it back for El Neni. Minute gone in the second half here on TalkSport 2. Back the ball goes inside his own half for Rob Holding. Holding's ball down the left-hand touchline. Ramsey Little back heel flick for Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe making his way forward, gets towards the byline, left-footed delivery, not the worst by any stretch of the imagination. It's headed behind by Dalku, and out of play for the first corner of the second half.
Yeah, once again, you see Smith Rowe been very positive over that left-hand side. Playing a little 1-2 between himself and Aaron Ramsey, got to the byline. He's tried to pull it back for two teammates who were inside the box, and Ketia being one of them. But Dalku, the centre-back, done well to put it out for a corner.
Corner which will be taken by Guendouzi on the Arsenal left-hand side, their fifth of the game. Holding coming in to meet it, and it's taken a touch on its way behind, off him last, and out of play for a goal kick. An extraordinary scoreline from the San Siro. AC Milan 1, the Luxembourg champions Dudelange 2. That is just a mind-blowing result.
But that just shows you where they are, doesn't it? Where Italian football, like, apart from Juventus, Napoli are a decent side, but they're the two standout teams. Look at the others. Inter Milan maybe, but certainly AC Milan. What's happened? Just on Arsenal, Jim, and your thoughts on Guendouzi and what sort of player he'll turn out to be. You know, we see him in a variety of positions as a holding midfielder, playing a little bit higher up the field. I mean, just wonder if he's got that vision and that way to pass, or is that something that he's going to, gain the more experience he becomes?
I think he will end up being better than Xhaka and not as good as Torreira, which is probably about where he is at the moment.
That'll be not bad, though, will it?
No, not at all. Well, one final thought on that Milan scoreline, incidentally. Dudelange were 40-1 to win there today. Haven't won yet, but they're 2-1 up 5 minutes into the second half. Elsewhere in Europe, Bordeaux leads Slavia Prague by a goal to nil. Barté 1, Vidi 0. Betis lead Olympiacos 1-0. And Sporting in the other game in this group 3-1 up away at Karabakh. Don't forget Celtic leading Rosenborg after that goal from Scott Sinclair in the first half, which would put them in a great position in their group. 1-0 up. Vorskla able to bring the ball forward into Arsenal territory, but not too far. Scagliar just chipping it forward. It'll be chased by Kulak and then knocked away by Arsenal only after the offside flag was up against the blonde-haired striker, and it's a free kick to Arsenal inside their own penalty area. 49 gone. Vorskla 0, Arsenal 3.
Yeah, just seeing there with Kulak, he just switched off, didn't he? You know, he was ahead of the last defender and he didn't get back into an onside position, and he's made his running and he's arguing with the assistant referee to say I was onside, he was 3 yards off. But they just can't get going at the moment. We're only into the early stages, the first 4 minutes of the second half, but they're not making any impact on this Arsenal backline at all. Arsenal just got to make sure that they keep their discipline. Just seen Aaron Ramsey try to do a little flick. You know, you don't want to start to get you that stage when you start messing around. You've been professional so far. Just keep it that way for the remaining 40 minutes or so of the match.
Petr Cech took a free kick from inside his own penalty area, which he knocked short for Stefan Lichtsteiner. Ball barely had the legs to get outside the box. Lichtsteiner was put under pressure from Kulak, stepped inside the penalty area, played it, so they reset. I know we talk about it frequently. They've got to look at that law. They've got to change that and make that an indirect free kick for the attacking side if a defender willfully plays when he knows he shouldn't be. Arsenal get it forward, though, from the retaken free kick, and Ketia laying it off for Ramsey. Ramsey out to the left-hand touchline for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, then Guendouzi plays it forward. Willett just tried to spin the ball first time into the path of Nketiah, and it was a well-intentioned pass, and Nketiah just didn't read it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I wouldn't blame Willett at all. I think he did the right thing. You know, I like players being positive. You know, it's easy to play backwards and square. You can get anyone to do that, but where you get the standout players are the ones who've got the vision to see that forward ball that can influence the game, and he tried to do that. Nketiah was caught in his heels. He didn't anticipate it, which he should have done.
Arsenal already through, of course, and they win the group if they win tonight, or indeed if they match Sporting's result in the other game. For both matches end as draws, that'll be enough for Arsenal, but they're going to do the job under their own steam. There'll be 4 wins and a draw from 5 games after tonight. It's been an excellent Europa League campaign. They haven't conceded in this competition now for 320 minutes. Sharper, who was the last man to score against them, plays the ball forward now through the midfield. Kedia dropping deep, making life difficult for him. And he goes to the left-hand side of midfield. Chesnikov stepping up for the defensive line, finds Arter. Arter with another sloppy pass. Rebanov actually rescued after Willett couldn't quite bring it under control. And then as it's launched forward, Kulak knew that he was in an offside position. And he turns and puts his hands out towards Chesnikov. Chesnikov does likewise. If you say, well, why didn't you get yourself back on side? Ball ends up with Petr Cech.
Even a poor ball though from Chesnikov. It was a nothing ball, wasn't it? Really did try to play any of his teammates in there. I've got to say, Kareka, who's come on as a substitute, I don't think he's had a kick so far. I mean, he's doing a lot of running around. Kolomoetz, who started as the main striker, is over that right wing. He looks lost in that position as well.
Lichtsteiner making good movement off the ball, and Kettier has played it to the right-hand side for Willock. Lichtsteiner just comes back. He's still offering himself in support. Oh, Kettier's done well and plays it.
Angles, you can see he's trying to just feed it into the feet of Aaron Ramsey, who'd gone ahead of the last defenders. So certainly he was in an offside position. Arthur again. How slow was he in possession of the ball there? He should have cleared it a lot earlier than he did. Willock was on to it, played a lovely ball through. He actually kicked the ground first. He hit the ground and then lacked power in the shot, and the keeper's just pushed it round the post.
Guendouzi takes the corner. It's flicked on. Holding tries to help it on. He's lent into his man, and as a result, Kolomoetz has won a free kick, which will be taken by the penalty spot. There was a flailing arm there, which results in a yellow card for Rob Holding.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think that was a genuine attempt to try and win the ball there from Rob Holding. I don't think he done an awful lot wrong. I think Kolomoetz made a lot of it. You've got to throw your arms up in the air for leverage to get height. That's all he's done. He's not thrown his arm back to catch the striker, and he was just the merest of touches on him. And it looks like he's going to miss the next match because of that, Rob Holding.
Yep, second yellow card of this campaign. His fourth yellow card of the season. As a result, interesting, having started the last 6 Premier League games, but made the journey out to Ukraine for this particular match. Whether he does start the North London derby, whether they're going to go with Socrates alongside Mustafi at centre-half. Ray's thoughts on that in a moment as the free kick is worked short for Kulak on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Half clear, back from Sharper. Now down from the thick-set Rebenok. Arta's ball inside the penalty area. Rebenok helps it back in. Kareka with the shaven-headed Brazilian. Back out for Rebenok again. Ball played inside the air. Half clear by Jenkinson and then volleyed tamely over the bar from the centre-half, Dalku.
Yeah, poor effort from the centre-back there, wasn't it? You never really fancied him from the area he took the shot on. Rebenok with the ball in. I think it was Jenkinson who won the header. Wasn't the best of headers. Played it back into a central position, and Dalku with a strike. Straight away you could tell by his reaction he knew that it wasn't a particularly good effort, well wide of the target. But just going back to Rob O, I mean, will they go with the 3 centre-halves again against Tottenham on Sunday, which they started against Bournemouth with?
What's your gut feeling?
Well, because of the way that Tottenham played against Chelsea and the amount of men that they got forward, it is an option.
Here's Ramsey now for Arsenal. They look for goal number 4. His pass has forced Guendouzi much wider than he wanted to go. Down by the corner flag. He flicks it in brilliantly. Finds Lichtsteiner. Lichtsteiner's delivery is put behind by the winger Rebenok for another corner.
Yeah, good play all round there, wasn't it? That's much better from Guendouzi. That's where you want to see him in an advanced position, and then playing a really intelligent pass through to Lichtsteiner. He's made a good run from the right back position, and he didn't even know the Rebenok was coming back to get a block, and he thought he had all the time in the world to deliver the ball, and credit to the winger to get back to make the challenge.
Guendouzi's going to take the corner. Right-footed ball swung in towards the penalty spot, headed away. Kareka will help it on out to the right-hand touchline. Kolomoetz isn't going to be able to keep that in. It goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Arsenal in the left-back position.
How many corners have Arsenal had, Jim? Because I was going to say none of them really look threatening. They're hitting them into an area where it's just delivering in, and it's more hopeful than anything else. I think situations like this, we've been 3-0 up, be a bit more inventive. This is where you should be working on things and training, short corners, to get 2v1 situations, work the ball that way. They've got the players to do it. I mean, how many headers are they going to win when you're looking who's in there? Holding, Jenkinson. There's not much height in the team.
7-2, the corner count at the moment in Arsenal's favour. 4 in the first half, 3 in the second. Ramsey's got it. 11 minutes gone in this second half. Arsenal completely dominant. El Neni playing it forward. They lead 3-0 with Smith Rowe, Ramsey and Willock the goal scorers. El Neni playing it back inside his own half for Rob Holding, who's played the best part of 60 first-team games for Arsenal now since his move from Bolton. Out towards the left flank where the ball is brought under control. Being told the Chelsea team incidentally to face Pauk. Arith Balaga in goal, Zappacosta, Christensen, Cahill and Emerson the back 4, Barkley, Fabregas and Loftus-Cheek in midfield, and the front 3 Pedro, Giroud and Hudson-Odoi. On the bench for Chelsea for that game, Caballero the substitute goalkeeper, Alonso, Jorginho, Kovacic, Willian, Morata and Ethan Ampadu. 12 minutes gone in the second half. Arsenal leading Vorskla by 3 goals to 0. Rebenot will be able to bring the ball forward here for the men in green. It's a really poor delivery. They've looked like they don't want to be here. And they are getting blown away. And Ketia running towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got Ramsey in support. He's got Guendouzi in the penalty area behind him. He takes it down towards the byline. Peduta has salvaged it, tackled him. Ball goes down to the dead ball line. He's kept it in, and Sharp will be able to bring it away. 3-0 Arsenal lead.
I'll tell you what, Arthur, the full-back, will be fuming at Rebenot. He's made a run from the left-back position, 60 yards, to offer him an option on that left-hand side. And all you've got to do is play the ball. You've got to give him encouragement. You've got to dangle that carrot in front of the full-backs when they make that run forward. And he's played a square ball straight to Guendouzi, and Arsenal really should have done better with that opportunity. And Ketia, you know, he's up against Dalku. He should have taken them on. He just looked a little bit hesitant to take them on 1v1.
Elsewhere, Krasnodar lead by 2 goals to 1, and Zenit St. Petersburg are a goal up against FC Copenhagen. At the San Siro, let me remind you, AC Milan 1, Dudelange of Luxembourg 2. 3-0 Arsenal lead, 1-0 Celtic lead. Kulak through the midfield, down towards Arta. Arta towards the edge of the penalty area. Petacek will just wave that one goodbye as he slams one in from 40 yards and puts it 10 yards wide.
When you talk about game management, football intelligence, well, Arta there, what he's thinking about, I don't know. You're quite right to point out, 40 yards out on the angle. I mean, it's not even a good position. It's a much better position to try and cross the ball from. He's took a strike on, and it was similar to Kulak's shot a little bit earlier on when the first half, when he completely missed the target. It was usually he shanked it 40 yards, 50 yards wide of the target. But same there from Arthur, the fullback. Really poor strike.
Well, here is the first Arsenal change, and this was one we were talking about at half-time. Holding coming off, and Zek Medley coming on for his first team appearance. Just 18 years of age, and he gets the opportunity to have a run out with just over half an hour to go. Medley, centre-half, has played 1 game in the Checkatrade Trophy so far this season, and then it's 6 on that occasion in a big defeat at Cheltenham, although they played a lot of that game with 10 men. But Medley on at centre-half. Here's Nketiah. Nketiah working it out towards Emil Smith-Rowe. He's had a quiet second half after a brilliant first half. Ball threaded through, Peduta slides in and can knock it away. Colomiets will help it further clear out towards the right-hand touchline for Kulak. Guendouzi's done really well to win it back. Maitland-Niles then ends up tangling with Kulak. Play goes on. First touch for Medley. Square to his right-hand side. Now Jenkinson. Jenkinson to El Neni. El Neni making his way through the centre circle. Just be able to play it forward into the feet of Eddie Nketiah, who's retreated, to be able to pick up possession. Now comes down for Guendouzi again. An hour gone. Arsenal leading by 3 goals to 0. Lichtsteiner just dragging the ball back away from Rebenot. Back once more for Mohamed El Neni. El Neni working it out to the left-hand touchline for Medley, who can control it neatly. And then play it forward for Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe's ball forward didn't give Willett too many opportunities. So Maitland-Niles, I beg your pardon, too many opportunities to control it, and it's just drifted off him and out of play for a throw.
He just lost that intensity a little bit, hasn't it? But it's understandable. You're 3-0 up. You just want to retain possession of the ball. You talked about Smith-Rowe not being as influential just because they haven't got the ball over to that side of the field as often. But maybe when we were talking about Rob Holding and whether he will start on Sunday, well, you would think bringing him off after an hour would suggest that there's every chance that he will.
Replaced by a man who was at Chelsea's academy at one stage, Zek Medley, and then joined Arsenal, his boyhood club. Has been on the bench once in the Premier League this season for the 3-1 win against Leicester about 5-6 weeks ago, but didn't come off the bench and makes his first team debut tonight. Ramsey forward towards Smith-Rowe. Arsenal here on TalkSport 2, leading by 3 goals to 0 away to Vorskla. It's been even more comfortable than the scoreline suggests. Vorskla have been really poor. And a 7th defeat in 10 games in all competitions has been pretty much guaranteed since Smith-Rowe gave Arsenal the lead. Gunners bring it forward again, down towards Lichtsteiner. Lichtsteiner turning it forward. And it comes from Jenkinson off Arter and had a play for a throw.
Yeah, well, the Arsenal fans at the stadium are jumping up and down to keep warm. It's that cold, but they're thoroughly enjoying what they've seen, and it's always nice when you see youngsters. You might have when you watch them at underage level, under 23, and you know they've got potential. You don't really realise that until they get into the first team, and then you see them in a proper game. And wasn't taking into consideration the standard of the opposition that they're playing against. You've still got to apply yourself. You've still got to go out there and perform, and they've certainly done that.
Certainly have done that. Vorskla staring down the barrel of a third straight home defeat in European competitions. Only the second time they've ever got through to the group stage of the Europa League. They took only 2 points last time, didn't win a single game. They have won one in this campaign away to Karabakh, but then lost here at home to the same opposition. Free kick whipped by Lichtsteiner down towards Guendouzi. Right-footed ball in from him from the right-hand side of the penalty area. Beats everybody. And goes out of play for a throw. In fact, might just have curved over the line and out of play for a goal kick. 18 minutes gone, second half. Vorskla 0, Arsenal 3. Reminder of what's coming up for you over the course of the weekend on the TalkSport network. Sheffield United against Leeds here on 2, 12:30 Saturday lunchtime. That's followed by Newcastle against West Ham, and then Middlesbrough against Aston Villa. We bring you 3 live games here on TalkSport 2 on Saturday. And on Sunday, our live championship action here on 2 is Bristol City against Millwall. And then join me at the Hawthorns Monday night for West Brom against Brentford, also in the championship. Arsenal bringing the ball forward. Emil Smith-Rowe has it on the left-hand side. Back it goes from him to Willock. Willock to El Neni. Fire Maitland-Niles. El Neni will now just run around the ball under a little bit of pressure from Kulak and lay it back to Medley, then to Jenkinson, now Guendouzi to Lichtsteiner, turned around the corner very cleverly by Stefan Lichtsteiner to find Matteo Guendouzi again. An equaliser for Milan at home to Dudelange, much to their relief. 2-2 there, and Sporting now 4-1 up away at Karabakh. We'll try and mix it up with a long hasty ball forward. And that's a rare touch in this second half for Petr Cech, who comes 10 yards outside his penalty area and taps it forward for Jenkinson.
Well, that move for Arsenal there all came about from Medley playing a really positive pass.
From fans, Smith-Rowe just walked forward and could not miss. His second of the night. That's 3 in this European campaign for him. And Arsenal lead by 4-0.
Well, certainly from Arsenal's point of view, they were delighted with this.
It's been chalked off.
Yeah. Just saying that, we just looked at watching the replay there, Jim. We thought there was something. It was Dalku. Was it offside? That was initially we put his hand up for.
But I can't see how it can have been offside. The cross came in. It took a deflection off the nearest defender. Not that changed. It wasn't a deliberate attempt for him to play the ball, so that doesn't change it. But I think
Nketiah, he had a little nudge on.
Is he interfering with play?
Yeah, but did he nudge him? I mean, I was just.
It's an indirect free kick to restart play, okay. So I would imagine that it's given for offside, but it's a controversial moment. A bit more controversial, of course, at 0-0. As it is, it's 3-0 to Arsenal.
It took a while to come to the decision because the Arsenal players, I was just watching them, particularly the smile on Smith-Rowe's face. It looked like it was his second goal of the game. It would look like they all walked back to the halfway line. Took the officials quite a while to get the decision right.
Ball is toe poked back to the edge of the Vorskla penalty area. Vorskla 0, Arsenal 3, Bayer Leverkusen 0, Ludogorets 1. The scoreline from Germany. Ball played down the right hand side of the midfield by Vorskla, straight to El Neni. El Neni laying it back for Jenkinson. Jenkinson to Lichtsteiner. Now Medley, the deepest lying of Arsenal's outfield players, wearing 47 on his first team debut. Plays it out to the left for Guendouzi. Back for Medley again. I don't think he's going to have too many opportunities to shine somehow, Zach Medley, in this Arsenal debut. Just an opportunity for him to get some minutes under his belt, as it will be in a minute for Bukayo Saka, who's going to be coming on presently. Oh, Medley's done brilliant. I say no opportunities for him to shine. He was played the ball there by Petr Cech as Arsenal played out from the back, and he saw a player sliding in towards him, and he just dragged the ball back with the studs of his right boot, changed the angle, and played an easy pass out to the left-hand side. But great poise from him.
I'll tell you what, that takes confidence, doesn't it, to do that? I know you're 3-0 up. The game's virtually over with, but still wonderful skill, was it, to take it away from Colomboet, who came in, flying in. He's seen the challenge coming in. Just took it away so calmly and played it out to the left-hand side to pick out Maitland-Niles.
Well, Aaron Ramsey comes off, and it's a big moment for 17-year-old Bukayo Saka. Now, they think an awful lot of him, and if he lives up to half the potential that they say he's got, he's going to be some player. First time that he's played for Arsenal's first team. Will he be able to hit the ground running? Long ball swept from one side of the field out to the other, and Saka back defending in his yellow boots. Stops the cross coming in very effectively. Now we'll go over towards the Arsenal left-hand touchline and put pressure on again. They've worked it past him down the right-hand side of the area for Kulak, down by the corner flag. He plays it back through the penalty area and straight to an Arsenal man. It's Eddie Nketiah, and Nketiah just goes up through the gears, beats the first challenge, can't beat the second. It was won back by Dalku. Dalku will play it forward for Rebenok. Arsenal leading 3-0. They've had another one disallowed. Replay that we saw initially suggested that it was wrongly disallowed, but I have to see it again to be absolutely completely sure. But it was hard to see that the offside flag was justified.
You can tell how contentious it was, Jim. We've not seen another replay, so I'm not sure the officials have got this one absolutely to the point. As far as was it offside, was it a push? We've not seen the replay of it to give us any suggestion why the officials made the decision that they have.
Çalhanoğlu scored for Milan, who are now 3-2 up against Dudelange. 2 goals in 4 minutes there. And the Luxembourg side had their moment in the sun, leading 2-1 at the San Siro, but Milan now lead by 3-2.
Never in doubt, Jim, was it?
Tell the Milan fans that. Ball worked down the right-hand side of the penalty area here, and Koreka, the substitute, works it in, and Cech comes out off his line so quickly and did well to save at the feet of Skliar. Medley, now to Guendouzi. Guendouzi just works it forward to the halfway line and continues his run. It's a good little 1-2. He's got Saka to his left-hand side. Guendouzi to Smith Rowe. Here's his moment, right-footed. Just having a look at the replay of Koreka's ball inside the penalty area. It's Paduta making his way forward from right back, and Cech was out very quickly. As Paduta tried to knock past him, he had Cech bearing down on him. It was an excellent piece of goalkeeping.
That's one of the things he had to do in the game, isn't it? Really, Petr Cech, he's hardly had a save to make. A few times he's come out and collect the ball, start moves for Arsenal, apart from that, not a lot.
Well, on comes the Vorskla substitute as Arsenal win a corner. His surname spelled Kane. Kane, though, rather than Kane. They'll leave Kane till the weekend. And here's Guendouzi on the right-hand touchline for Arsenal. Kulak, the player that has gone off, second change for Vorskla. Maitland-Niles has got the ball for the Gunners. 19 minutes to go. Arsenal leading by 3-0 and winning a free kick, which may well earn a yellow card for Colomoyets, perpetrator of the challenge on Maitland-Niles, and he becomes the third Vorskla player booked.
Yeah, rightly so by the referee there. Colomoyets, who's struggled to get into the game, Jimmy. I think that, you know, that early chance that he had, after 96, I think you said, when he blazed it over the bar, I think that really affected his confidence. I think you were saying he's struggled for goals this season. And you can see that he's been farmed out to that right-hand side of midfield, and he's not had an influence in the game at all.
Yeah. Plays either as a striker, a 10, or a winger. No goals all season in 19 appearances. Never scored in Europe. He had the big chance, didn't take it, and has struggled ever since, really, as you say. With TalkSport 2, Arsenal leading by 3-0, and in possession, bringing it forward now down the left-hand side with Saka. Sliding challenge gets it away from him, and then it was flicked up by Sharper. It hits Saka on the hand, and a free kick was given.
Yeah, what you want to see, just having a look at the replay with Lichtsteiner playing the ball in, I think they're trying to suggest it was offside, and then there was a clip with Nketiah and Dalku, and the flag went up. So it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a real tough call, isn't it?
Well, all I can think of is that the assistant referee decides that Nketiah makes contact with Dalku, and as a result of that, he's interfering with play. And Smith Rowe comes in and puts it in. It's not a foul on Dalku, but he's probably stopped Dalku running towards the ball as he would want to. Therefore, he's active, and as a consequence, the flag is up against him. 3-0 Arsenal lead. Would have been hotly debated if it was still 0-0, but as it is nothing more than a footnote.
What would VAR given a situation like that?
Heaven knows. I really don't know. What would VAR have given with the penalty in the first half that Ramsey won? Ball played forward. Saka, left-hand side of the penalty area. Nketiah is waiting in the middle. Saka goes alone and forces a decent save. His first shot on target in Arsenal's first team. That's a decent stop by Schuss to tip it wide of the near post.
Well, I'd like to say, was he offside for the initial ball from Elneny? That was very tight. I'm not sure the system is up in play. But he's 1v1. He skipped past the defender Perduta very easy. A little step over, natural left-footed player. He's took the shot on. I mean, the goalkeeper's done well to keep it out at the end. I mean, he went with his right hand. It came off his left and behind for a corner. I know Nketiah wasn't too happy. He thought he should have crossed it.
Arsenal have another corner, their ninth, and it's worked short towards Guendouzi on the edge of the penalty area. Guendouzi, his only Arsenal goal so far has come in this competition. Back from him to Elneny, out of the left for Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles has lost it to the wing of Rebenot. Long ball played forward, out comes Petr Cech. Awkward bouncing ball for him, but he did well to get his left leg to it, played high up in the air, and then it's given away again by Smith Rowe. This ball back towards the tiring Guendouzi was seized upon by Colomoyets, but he didn't have possession long, and it goes out of play for a throw.
Great starting position, wasn't it, from Petr Cech, with a ball over the top. The Arsenal defenders can actually hold a high line because they know the goalkeeper's going to come out and sweep up in behind them. Very good goalkeeping. I just think one or two of the Arsenal players, Smith Rowe and the likes, are just getting a little bit tired at the moment. I think that's evident. They're not getting around the pitch as they once were. Just guilty of giving the ball away.
More good news for Celtic, who lead 1-0 in Norway against Rosenborg, but Salzburg have taken the lead against Leipzig. 1-0 with 15 minutes to go there, and that means that group, Salzburg 15, Celtic 9, Leipzig 6, Rosenborg 0. Celtic would only need a point. The only way they wouldn't go through would be if they lost and Leipzig won the final game. Zurich 1, Larnaca 1. Back towards Lichtsteiner. Will be played forward again. Another change is going to be made. Arsenal leading by 3-0 with 14 minutes to go. Of course, Celtic's final game in that group is at home to Salzburg a fortnight tonight. Guendouzi's the player that's coming off. 14 minutes left. And an opportunity for another one of the young Arsenal players to get a chance to come on. I think it'll probably be Charlie Gilmour who will be introduced, and indeed it is. Gilmour, the Scottish under-19 central midfielder. He's got an outstanding record playing for his country's youngsters. Born in Sussex, but very much part of the Scottish system. He's played 3 games in the Checkatrade Trophy this season, and he too comes on for his first team debut with 14 minutes to go. Elegant midfielder Charlie Gilmour is putting the pressure on now as Sharper plays the ball out towards the right-hand touchline. Back it comes from Rebenot. Saka wins it back for Arsenal. Played forward into the feet of Nketiah. Saka will continue his run down the left-hand touchline for Arsenal. Nketiah does well to maintain possession and find Willock. Willock then with an injection of pace, and he's got past the centre-half Dalku. He's got Smith Rowe making his way towards the far post. He's got Nketiah in support as well, and then just trying to lay it back towards Saka or Elneny. Sliding challenge came in from a man in green to knock it away.
And you know what, when he went past Dalku initially, I thought he was just going to put on the afterburners, and off he went. He had Smith Rowe making a run from the right hand side, so he was an option he could have squared the ball to, and they just run out of ideas. That's decision making. You've got to pick out the right pass at the right time, and unfortunately he was just lacking there, Willock.
Milan 4, Dudelange 2 in that game of the San Siro. Dudelange have actually scored 4 of the goals. It's 2 of Milan's own goals tonight. Jenkinson heads it away. Arsenal leading by 3-0. Kane with the throw into the feet of Kareka. Kareka, a yard from the left-hand touchline, plays it back for Kane again. Kane, the Malian left-back, who's making only the second appearance of his career today. So it's not only Arsenal who are taking the chance to blood some youngsters. He's just given a free kick away. And it's one that will be taken on the Arsenal right. 12 minutes to go, 3-0 to Arsenal.
When you look at the Arsenal team at the minute, this is probably the one most people thought was going to start. You know, a lot of the youngsters in it, given some experience in European football. The manager went with some more experienced players than the likes of Ramsey, Holding, brought them off alongside Guendouzi, and all of them have done well. No Arsenal player this evening has underperformed. There's a as a side, they've done very well.
Lichtsteiner, another who's plenty of experience in European football, just lays it back for Petr Cech. Cech plays it out from the back to the left-hand side for Medley, one of Arsenal's debutants tonight. And Medley just waits for a player to get within close attendance before flighting it forward down the left-hand side for Willett. It ran out of room and it's out of play for a throw. So, of the Arsenal substitutes, no Mkhitaryan coming on tonight. That was expected. Tyrese John-Jules and also Jordi Osei-Tutu are the other players that have ended up coming along for the ride of the outfielders. Here is Kane, left-hand side of the penalty area. Good ball played back in. Koreka, can he get a shot in on the turn? He backheels it in towards Rebenok. Appeals for a handball. Nothing given. Rebenok will pick it up right-hand side of the penalty area, but he's facing away from goal now. Back it's laid to Sharper. Kane to his left. Arter to his left. Lays the ball back instead behind square for Chesnikov, the centre-half and captain. Playing it 4-4, Arter, who's taken down towards the corner flag by Emil Smith-Rowe. He's all left foot. Smith-Rowe just making sure that no challenge or no cross can come in. Eventually, when they do get it in, it's easily cleared by Medley and put out a play for a throw.
Well, I'll tell you, there was a great block in there from Jenkinson from Rebenok when he took the shot on. He just threw his body in the way, but I think he might have came off either his shoulder or he's hit him in the face, but very good defending there.
Sporting 6-1 up now away at Karabakh, and Milan are 5-2 up at home to Dudelange. 4 goals in a 15-minute spell, and it's Barini that scored the latest of them. Throw inside the penalty area, 10 minutes to go, helped on by Koreka. More appeals for handball. Sharper just trying to get free inside the box, and it's cleared once more by Medley, and out of play for a throw. They did score 2 goals in the last 13 minutes. Remember the last time they played Arsenal, they were 4-0 down at the time, 3-0 down now. Looking for a couple of 2 or 3 late goals again for a little salvo. Right-footed effort comes in from Sharper from some considerable distance, from Chesnikov, I beg your pardon, from distance, and it's gone way over the bar and out of play for a goal kick. 9 left, 3-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah, their final ball, strikes at goal, have not been particularly good. I think they were actually trying to get a penalty there from one of the previous throw-ins that they had. Ball was thrown in, Koreka with the flicked-on header, and El Neni actually turned his back on it. It looked like it came off his right arm, not spotted by the officials.
Just seeing the replay of Jenkinson blocking Rebenok's shot bravely. That hit the arm as well, though the arm was right across his chest. There was no way that could have been a penalty. The El Neni one was a better shout, certainly.
It's got to be intentional, Jim, isn't it? And there was no intent there at all from Jenkinson. You know, his arms are down by his side. He's trying to make himself nice and big. Rebenok hits it.
Throw again, which was disallowed for an offside against Nketiah. But the second half has really been both sides just not quite going through the motions, but seeing out time.
Well, I think if an Arsenal fan watching this game, listening to us here, they'll be thinking to themselves, you know, the future looks good.
And Petr Cech comes outside his penalty area and then retreats, and the ball just follows him back inside the box, and he will pick it up at the feet of Koreka. 7 to go. Arsenal leading 3-0. Coming up on TalkSport on Saturday, Matchday Live with Adrian, hosting from Manchester City against Bournemouth. And we'll have all of the goals as they go in from around the country. As Rebenok brings it forward towards the edge of the penalty area, it's a brilliant recovering challenge from Willett. And then the ball will be cleared down the left-hand side by Medley and chased by Nketiah. And should be easily knocked by Sklia back to his goalkeeper, who looked a little bit uncomfortable, Shust, but he could get it away. After Matchday Live on Saturday over on TalkSport, it's Southampton against Manchester United. Sunday, Chelsea-Fulham and Arsenal-Spurs, both of the London derbies. Live and exclusive for national radio for you over on TalkSport on Sunday. And also on TalkSport 2 over the course of the weekend, the FA Cup second round tie between Wrexham and Newport County. Lichtsteiner to Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe takes it down towards the byline. Right-footed ball in from him. Hits Arter. He wasn't sure where it had bounced. It ends up going outside the penalty area after Arter's covering header. And it'll be played forward down the left-hand side for Koreka. Jenkinson had so much of a head start, it was easy for him to mop it up. And he's laid it back for his goalkeeper.
Did you say that Jenkinson's not had a first-team game for 2 years? Was that?
Hasn't had a Premier League game for 2 years.
Well, you wouldn't know he was not that fit, match fit. The way that he read the game there so well when the ball was played through, trying to pick out Koreka, he just dropped off. Very good defending from Jenkinson, and then it was an easy, touch back to his goalkeeper, Petr Cech.
has had a couple of cup ties at home this season. Made the side against Blackpool, also against Sporting. This is the third appearance of the campaign. So Arsenal bring it forward with Willock into the feet of Nketiah, right hand side of the area. It's a lovely check, and then he's beaten him on the outside with Chesnikov stranded as it was flashed across the edge of the 6-yard box. Willock couldn't get the touch under duress to steer it over the line.
Yeah, Perduta, it was the fullback. He actually played it against Willock, but really good play from Nketiah. 1v1, just took on the defender. Dalku beat him, all ends up, and he just flashed the ball across the 6-yard box, and you can see the fullback Perduta just smashed it against Willock. He knew nothing about it, and out for a goal kick.
Well, he took it on the chin in every conceivable manner. He's just having a little bit of treatment. Reba knocks off, and he's been replaced by Sakiv. That's the final change. Sakiv, a defensive midfielder who's only made a dozen or so first-team appearances, looks very fresh-faced, the 21-year-old. Arsenal made all 3 changes. Willock is distressed by this. I'm not surprised. I mean, he was whacked into him with real full force by Perduta. He was only 2 yards away. Didn't have time to brace himself because of the angle and ferocity with which it came. I don't know that he's necessarily lost his teeth, but he might have bitten his tongue as well as having one rammed right into his Adam's apple.
Oh, I mean, that looked painful, didn't it? It came back with some force, didn't it? But really good play from Nketiah. I've been impressed with him as well. I think he's done better in the second half. I think his hold-up play's been very good. You know, when he picks the ball up, he's always trying to get into the right areas to affect the game. And there he done brilliant up against Dalku, the centre-back, twist and turn him. First a brilliant ball across the face of the 6-yard box, and Perduta done well to clear it.
AK Larnaca lead again in Switzerland, away to Zurich, 2-1 up. Nketiah, increasingly influential. Saka made an early run forward. He needed the pass to be played early, and Nketiah has maintained possession. Green shirts converging on him. Still he's got it. Now he's lost it. He just turned into trouble, and Dalku could knock it away. They then mop it up and go back for the goalkeeper, Schust, who will clear right-footed from inside his own penalty area. Willock's okay. He's not back on yet, but I think now that the ball has gone out of play for a throw, he's going to be given permission to come back on, and Arsenal restored to the full complement of 11. A reminder, in Celtic's group, they're a goal up away to Rosenborg, and Salzburg lead Leipzig by a goal to nil. So the perfect scenario as far as Celtic are concerned. They lead and Leipzig trail. Arsenal, 3 goals to the good in Ukraine against Vorskla, and 3 minutes away from winning the game. Sliding challenge comes in from Dalku, and it's out of play for an Arsenal throw. Unai Emery acting as the ball boy, just trying to keep himself interested. Bounces it a couple of times and hands it to Stefan Lichtsteiner.
You know what, Jimmy? He'll get as much pleasure out of this performance tonight than he's seen from his team, his first team players in recent matches. To see the youngsters going out there and applying themselves and doing the right things the majority of the time and really shining, that'll give him a great satisfaction.
Willock took exception to the way that Skliar had tried to win the ball back, and there was just a few words between the pair of them. Play goes on after a quickly taken free kick from Vorskla down towards the left-hand side for the substitute Sakiv, who drives it in. Can't find Kane. It goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the left-hand touchline. 2 Vorskla players attack the same ball. Lichtsteiner can get it away. Finds El Neni to Smith Rowe. Back for Lichtsteiner again. El Neni takes it beautifully on the half-turn. Plays it out towards Nketiah, and then El Neni will continue his run forward. Now he's 10 yards inside Vorskla territory as he checks back inside, knocks it square for Gilmour. Gilmour's ball out towards Saka. The substitute's linking up well, but he's flagged offside, and it's a free kick to Vorskla with 2 minutes to go.
That must have been very tight. You know, they've worked it really well, Arsenal, and they from deep in their own half built it forward down that right-hand side. El Neni doing extremely well. Eventually, when the ball was played from Gilmour trying to pick out Saka, why was he offside? I mean, that's a bit of inexperience. We are not looking across the line. You know, you see the whites of the goals, you think if he gets into him through 1v1 with the goalkeeper, and you just stray that yard or two offside. Gilmour
trying to put the pressure on Sharper in the midfield. Sharper lays it out towards the right-hand touchline for fullback Perduta. Now a long crossfield ball is brought down by Kane. At least it should have been brought down by Kane. It's nutmegged him. Gone out of play for a throw past Sakiv, and it'll be taken on the Arsenal right-hand side. Only a minute or so to go, not too much stoppage time to be added on, really. Only for the substitutions and for that brief bit of treatment that Willock picked up, but it's been a job very well done by Arsenal.
Well, if the referee's got a heart, it'll just blow up, because you've got to say that Vorskla has got no chance of getting back into this, and it happened for quite some time. It's been a dominant performance from Arsenal. You take it the two sides. You were saying about how they've performed. 7 defeats in the last 10 games, Vorskla. Yeah. You compare that to Arsenal, regardless of what team they're putting out at the moment, there's confidence is just flowing through the club at the moment, and that comes down to the manager and his coaching staff and how they've worked with these players to get them into this sort of form.
Kareka out to the right-hand touchline, where it's laid back for Colomoyets to Sharper. Well, one back by Willock to Nketiah as we go into stoppage time. One Arsenal chance to get the bodies forward quickly, and Saka has just waltzed his way through, and he's found Willock, and the goalkeeper was out quickly to narrow the angle.
I just wondered, Jim, if he could have squared it, because Nketiah was in there. You don't blame Willock for trying his luck there. Saka with a lovely pull through. Give the keeper a bit of credit. Schuster, he's really narrowed the angle quickly, but if he could have just got it square across the goal, there was two Arsenal players waiting for that pull back. Good goalkeeping.
So another Arsenal corner as we go into stoppage time, and Nketiah was quick to let Willock know that perhaps he picked the wrong option. 4 additional minutes to be played. There's your answer to whether the referee's got a heart or not, or whether the referee thinks his assessor has got a heart. Probably. Arsenal up into double figures in terms of the corner count. It's taken short to Emil Smith-Rowe, and corner number 10 will be followed by corner number 11, although I'm not sure that this one should be a corner. It should be a goal kick, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be.
That's why they got officials behind the goal. You'd have thought it was cleared back into Smith-Rowe, but it hasn't been given. The other game in this group now finished. Sporting have won 6-1 away to Karabakh. But here is another Arsenal corner. Bent in towards the near post where Jenkinson was forward, lurking with intent. It's half cleared. Willock can't pick it up. Now Kane to Arter. Arter will try and get it out of harm's way. Kane flicks it on. It's a play forward by Medley. Gilmour is in there, the tall central midfielder. And Nketiah will chase, but it'll be knocked away from him easily. Down towards the left-hand side for Colomoyets. He's lost out, then wins it back. Played back inside the penalty area for his goalkeeper, Schust. Schust will control on the edge of his 6-yard box. A real tired attempt to regain possession from Chesnikov. It rolls straight for El Neni, and now Nketiah is in. He's just given a little shove, gets the shot in on the turn, but he's dragged it wide of the far post.
I'd like to say, though, El Neni's impressed me tonight as well. His forward passing's been excellent. You know, he had the hand, I think it was the Willock goal, wasn't it, with his through ball there. He's picked out a lovely pass to Nketiah, who took the wrong option. He slowed it down. He was ahead of the defender. He should have got it out his feet and got a strike away with his right foot. Tried to cut back on his left, curl it to the far post. Just a little bit too much on it.
Here comes Vorskla looking for a consolation. Kareka! And he's put it wide. Good opportunity for him. Edge of the area. Still bodies between him and the goal. But he had time to pick his spot. Cech was diving at full length, but Kareka stuck it past him, and Cech did have it covered.
Well, it was well wide of the goal in the end, Jim, didn't it? It looked a lot closer initially, but it was a good 2-3 yards past that near post. It looked like Cech had it covered. But it would have been a consolation, wouldn't it, really? I mean, Arsenal have had 3 clean sheets in this competition so far. I think it's the best of anyone. So,
well, the Europa League this will be the fourth.
This will be the fourth, yeah.
4 in a row. And Vorskla, the only side to have scored against them. They scored the second in that 4-2 defeat in stoppage time, so it will be 360 minutes, 6 hours of Europa League play without conceding, which is an excellent record for Arsenal. Clean sheets against Karabakh, 2 against Sporting, and now 1 against Vorskla, providing that they can shut them out for another minute or so. Paduta receives the ball over on the right-hand touchline. It's worked forward by him to Arter. Arter, who's been all over the place in every conceivable sense. Started at left back, now finds himself on the right wing, and has been all over the place as well. Sakiv knocking the ball square. Sharper to Chesnikov. High aerial pass out towards the right-hand side of the midfield. And it's worked all the way back to the goalkeeper. Schust will come outside the penalty area and control it, take a touch and play it forward out towards Arter. That's a nice piece of control. Right on the touchline, and he's going to have the opportunity to try and drag it in past Smith-Rowe. He's found Kareka. Good piece of play that by the Brazilian. And it goes out of play for a throw off Medley. A throw which will be taken by Pertusa. 4 minutes are up. The referee looks at his watch, and Arsenal are through. That is a job really well done. With all the uncertainty about where the game was going to be played, with the makeup of the travelling squad, with so many youngsters involved ahead of Arsenal's matches with Spurs and Manchester United coming up over the course of the next week. But those that have represented Arsenal tonight have done so with real aplomb. Unai Emery's men extending their unbeaten streak to 18 in all competitions. That's 7 away wins in 8 games now, all told. And every youngster that made his debut did so brilliantly. Smith Rowe, Ramsey and Willock with the goals. Willock scoring his first senior goal, all by half-time. Smith Rowe had one ruled out for offside in the second half. Debuts as well for Medley, for Gilmour, for Saka. And Arsenal have won the group at a stroll with a game to spare. It's finished. Vorskla 0, Arsenal 3.
It is indeed the ideal result, isn't it, Ray Hatton? When you consider the weekend they've got coming up with the North London derby, the trouble that Jim just referenced in terms of build-up to this game, the fact that Emery was blooding so many different players, albeit young, more experienced, but fringe players in the squad. It's exactly the result and the performance that he would have wanted.
Yeah, perfect in many ways, Nat, to be honest, and all credit to the manager to having the belief in these youngsters and giving them their opportunity. You know, you can watch them in training and you can say, yeah, they've got plenty of potential about them, but you've got to realise it at some stage. You've got to be able to get into the first team and showcase your talent that you've got, and certainly they've done that tonight. I thought in the first half Smith Rowe was excellent. I think Willock grew into the game, obviously got his goal and his confidence grew from it. Nketiah, the only thing missing from his game tonight was he didn't score. He picked up some great positions. He was upset once or twice with his teammates when they didn't cross it, when they were taking shots on. But he would have got invaluable experience playing in tonight's game. So all round, you know, what Unai Emery's done, he's rested these big players for the upcoming fixtures against Tottenham on Sunday, then Manchester United. So they've not had to make the journey. They're not going to have tired minds from going over to Kiev for this game. They've sat at home, watched this performance, and I'm sure they'll be delighted to see the youngsters coming in and doing so well tonight.
And if you're sort of like very quietly very, very pleased with yourself as the manager, would you also not throw into the mix Petr Cech pulling off a really good save at 70 minutes as well to keep it as a clean sheet?
Yeah, well, Jim was just referenced there. 6 hours of football without conceding a goal in this competition. That's excellent. You know, to go away from home and to dominate matches as they have so far. Arsenal's been excellent. We've watched all of them so far, and they've been very, very good. And they've been the better team. And all the matches that they've played, they've deserved to win each and every one of them that they've played away from home. And now they can take it on to the last game where they can blood even more youngsters if they like, because as Jim just mentioned there, the top of the group, they can't finish any lower than first position. So all credit to them, job done, 4 wins and a draw in 5 games. They've attacked this competition the right way. It's a competition this manager really likes, and it's a competition where they'll be one of the favourites to win it.
By the way, fellas, can I ask you what you feel about this? Is that I've kind of been mentioning it in the last few weeks, or certainly since the manager came in, and I wonder if this underlines the fact is that I've been the feeling that this is Wenger's true legacy that he's left behind. Of course, there were brilliant players and titles and a brand new stadium, but in terms of in that last period of his time at Arsenal, which clearly didn't go as well as he or Arsenal fans or the board wanted, but what he seems to have done, he's left the new man with a bunch of teenage sensations coming up through the ranks.
Yeah, listen, there's some very good players there, there's no doubt, and but you've got to, I always say, you've got to realise your potential. Now, how long does potential last? 23, 24? You've got to start showing what you can do on a regular basis. And this manager believes in youngsters, and he's shown that again tonight. You won't play him in the massive games, of course. Some of the ones that you can give him some experience in, you'll certainly have no problems putting them into the starting 11. But what I think with these Arsenal players at the moment, they've found their love of playing football again. I think maybe under Arsenal in the last 18 months, under Arsene Wenger, they sort of lost that. They sort of lost the joy. If you watch them in matches, they weren't high-fiving each other. They weren't this, togetherness. I think that's what he's brought back more than anything.
Right.
And I think there's a confidence about them now, and there's a belief about them now, and they're enjoying their training. They're joining each other's company, and I